must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.
Today, Kenya is faced with a dilemma. A dilemma caused by succession politics of 2022. A country beaten by forces of peace, unity, against forces of impunity, bad politics, and tribal politics. The good forces of peace, unity, national reconciliation, led by President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, want to live a united, prosperous, one person, one nation, one country called Kenya. The bad forces led by Deputy President William Ruto want to live a divided, broken, damaged, dismembered Kenya without unity of purpose. Kenya today stands at cliffhanger politics. A cliffhanger politics of Machiavellian nature, where at night we praise the devils, during the daytime we praise the leaders. We go back at night, damage the leadership. That's where Kenya is today. Whichever divide you are, there is only one way out. One way out of this quagmire is to stick to a redemption strategy. Any conflict resolution expert on this panel, like Professor Onyari, will tell you the only way out to save this nation from sinking to the another chaos is to bring out the 9 points of the BBI. All of you know the 9 points of BBI. They touch national ethos, national bad elections. It is a cocktail of disaster that the two leaders saw that the four made them to shake hands and to bring it to the table. That for Kenya to conduct another election in this country without cleaning the national electoral mechanisms, the disaster will be worse than it was before. That for Kenya to go without national healing, reconciliation, accountability, restitution, reparation, truth-telling, forgiveness, we are staring at a disaster if we don't do a reconciliation now and never. It is now and never. Embarking on an early campaign has brought us to where we are. President Uhuru Kenyatta told people to concentrate on nation building. We abandoned the nation building ventures. We have gone on personal crusade ventures. We have gone on the same path where we believe we glorify corruption and glorify many things that are not glorifiable. It is sad, therefore, for my people of Kenya. It is also a call to the people of Kenya. Either they choose to go with the redemption strategy or they perish. The choice remains the choice of the people of Kenya. If you want to go with a redemption strategy of Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta of uniting this nation, that so be it. If you want to go with obsession of 2022 politics, even when there is no referee, and even when there is no competitor, yet the choice is yours. But at the end of the day, the citizens of this country are tired. If you don't see the fatigue that has come amongst the citizens who are being used as wheelbarrow pushers, who are being used as machines that will break in a day and you don't have any spare part to repair it, but it was done for PR, it is up to you. Do you empower people to push a wheelbarrow, or you empower people with knowledge? During this COVID-19, Rwanda, as a country that was besieged by the same disease that we see here, the disease of a creation of a hustler versus a dynasty. It is not different from the disease of a Tutsi versus a Hutu. You are not seeing what I'm seeing. Oh ye Kenyans, believe me, believe in me. You are not seeing what I'm seeing. You have created a narrative of a hustler versus a dynasty. It is like a Tutsi versus a Hutu versus a Tutsi. Look ye ahead. Look ye ahead in the horizon and see what is coming in 2022. It will be the battle of those that you want to eliminate against those who will be defending themselves. If you don't take my notes here, I will carry my dust. As the Bible said, go away with my dust. Because I see, from my vision, I can see we are on a wrong path. We have crossed, about to cross the red line. We are creating sections. We are fragmenting a state. We are dismembering a state. We are creating hurtling. Our train is hurtling towards one word. And that one word is conflict. That one word, my panel, is conflict. We better stop the train hurtling towards conflict and stop it now. Thank you. Good morning, viewers. Thank you very much for listening and watching to Punchline Africa Television, broadcasting all the way from the Political Command Center in London. Thank you. Good morning. Good morning, Miriam in Nairobi. Thank you very much. All of you in Nairobi, in Kenya, in Africa, wherever you are, in Zimbabwe, in Tripoli, in Accra, in Lagos, in Cairo, in Asmara, in Khartoum, in Kigali, in Djibouti, in Mogadishu, Dar es Salaam, wherever you are in Kinshasa, wherever you are in Namibia, Windhoek, good morning. Wherever you are in Cape Town, Johannesburg, Pretoria, Harare, good morning. Wherever you are in Maputo, good morning. In Bangui, Banjul, Gambia, and Bangui, Central African Republic, the chaos heaps on. Elections stolen because of politics of intrigue. Good morning, all of you in Kenya, Nairobi. Good morning, Miriam Oguti. Back to you in the studio to introduce your guests. Mine is my role to open up, to shout up, to call upon people of Africa to listen. Those who have ears, listen. Those who don't have can employ eyes. Those who don't have eyes can as well keep quiet and watch Africa slide into chaos. Watch Kenya go into chaos. You wake up in the morning, dismember your own government, then turn on it, eat it. You know a man who said the revolution eats itself. Most of you who are scholars of law will understand, will know who that man was. He said the time when a revolution starts eating itself, the children, it is when you realize you are going down a spiral of no hope. Back to you in the studio, Miriam Ogut.
Indeed, thank you so much, Doctor. Nice to have you on the show today. And our topic of today is politics of intrigue versus politics of ideology. And on the panel, we have Kidi Mwaga, a lawyer from Nairobi. Kidi, a very good morning to you.
Good morning, Miriam Ogutu and our viewers in Nairobi, in Africa, and around the world. Thank you.
Very well. And we also have Javan Karanja from the Mount Kenya region that we hear now there's a problem there when it comes to the BBI. But of course, they've come out. Javan, you've told us, no, all that is required is, it's just raising awareness of the content of the BBI in Mount Kenya region. And so he's joining us from Nanyuki. Javan, a very good morning to you.
It's a very good morning, Miriam, here in Nanyuki. Good morning to my friends Douglas Kiremi and Dr. David Masanga, and to our viewers wherever they are watching us from. Thank you very much and welcome to the broadcast.
And on the other side of Mount Kenya region, a person who's been wondering where, a Senator Kangata did his scientific research, finding out who is supporting and not supporting the BBI in the central Kenya, the Mount Kenya region, is Douglas Kirimi. Douglas, a very good morning to you.
Good morning, Miriam. Good morning, Dr. Masanga. In London. Good morning, my friend Kindi Mwaga in Nairobi. And good morning to my friend Javan Karanja. And good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all our friends in the world. As we remember this year, Dr. Masanga declared that this is the year of the truth. This is the year that we shall tell Paul Biya the truth, Museveni in Uganda the truth, and also William Ruto in this country, a very defiant deputy president who, in this country, we have never seen such a deputy in Africa, and even in the USA where we have a very rogue president, we have never seen Mike Pence become like what Deputy President William Ruto has become, and we shall tell him the truth this year.
All right. Thank you so much. If Mike Pence tried to do what William Ruto does here, I'm telling you, the orange man will not let him. He'll be out within no minutes. So, Doctor, just start it for us.
Thank you very much, viewers. Thank you very much, the panel. Thank you very much, Douglas Kirimi. Thank you, Mwaka. Thank you, Javan. And thank you, all our viewers who had missed this voice on this show. I'm back with a big bang. And I'm back with telling the truth, nothing but the truth. If you want, what will you do? You are not God. God is the one who decides what can be done, when it can be done, how it can be done. The truth be told, Deputy President William Ruto dismembered the legacy of President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Let's put it like that. If he has a channel of TV, let him come on, read for him the PIN numbers to come on our show and oppose and say, no. He killed the legacy. He has killed the legacy of his own president. A man wakes up in the morning, collects a cabal of corrupt people, protects them. When the DCI comes for this guy, he said, you are witch hunting. When the EACC comes for them, you say, you are touching my people. A man wakes up, goes out, creates a sky team of helicopters looking for money from managing directors, CEOs of parastatal bodies, contributing to charge fundraising and harambees. That was done by, sorry about that, that was done by Murkomen and Kindiki. You know, don't hold any truth behind. Any of you, do you remember the headline, Sky Team? People collected money. Every managing director who has a case in DCI today cries some names. Walikuja walisema 400 million, 300 million. He accumulates wealth. We are talking about the politics of intrigue. We created the Jubilee Party. Jubilee Party, I'm not a voter in Kenya, but I'm a friend of Jubilee Party. I even broke my arm. This hand here was broken to pieces while campaigning for Jubilee Party. For the second time, I smashed my Range Rover. Jubilee did not buy me the Range Rover. Yes, I put over 20 cars of mine to campaign for Jubilee Party. Not a single penny. I'd never demanded. So I have entitlement as a friend to discuss the politics of intrigue in the Jubilee Party. I'm a very great friend of Jubilee Party. Where they go wrong, I say it. This one, the deputy president has gone wrong. He undermined his boss. He forgot the 48 laws of power. He ignored them. He ran too fast. He's ambitious beyond the Emperor Nero. The emperor himself is still there. He wants to take over. That ambition is intrigue. He became a Nikolai Machiavelli. A Nikolai Machiavelli of the current Kenya. A Nikolai Machiavelli of Venice, of Florence, of Sicily. If you read the book, The Prince, is exactly what Murkomen and the group do. During that time, they are busy laughing with President Uhuru Kenyatta. At night time, they call meetings. It is very strange. If you are talking about the politics of intrigue, you must look at the root causes of politics of intrigue. What brings in intrigue? Intrigue is brought because of corruption. If you are corrupt, if you know, most of deputy presidents and the vice presidents in Africa fall out with the presidents because they become too ambitious and too corrupt. Miriam, are you registering that fact? If you look at most, Museveni has sacked 3 vice presidents. Look at what happened in Mzarika, in Malawi. Look at what happened in Tanzania. Look at what happened with the Prime Minister of Mogadishu in Somalia. Yes. They all fall out when they have been caught putting their hands in the jackpot. And when you tell them, then they turn and say, we have fallen out. This leadership is not very good. Look at South Sudan. What caused the chaos in South Sudan is purely politics of intrigue. Riek Machar wanted to move faster when Salva Kiir was still alive. Riek Machar wanted the constitution changed quickly to make him a supremo of the SPLA. It brought a conflict that you can see. I'm not talking lies. Look at Zimbabwe. Mugabe started sacking Mnangagwa. The politics of intrigue starts when most of the people who aspire to become leaders of that country become corrupt. A corrupt leader who collects all corrupt people who have been mentioned. I'm glad I have a lawyer on this panel. If you look at the Tanga group, all of them have cases in this year. Not because the law does not like them. It's because they are thieves. Where is from NYS 1, Murukomen, his name has been mentioned. Murukomen, maize, Murukomen. You saw the farmers in the Rift Valley crying, Murukomen. Our son, Murukomen. Miriam, you have those clips. You can play for the people.
Yeah.
I am not talking out of nonsense. KPLOC, 11 managers, to the extent that the Minister of Energy, Chelsea Carter, said they have killed the whole team of Zambia. Where are those 11 managers? Look at Chidero. Hey. Chidero works with who? Chidero, he confessed. He confessed to me and Murave. Yes, if Murave doesn't want to tell the president this, I say. He said, yes, this man has contacted him. Where is he? They collect money. Then they turn around and say BBI is very bad. BBI is a redemption strategy. Don't bring your intrigue there. Walaya Mungu nyenye wa Kenya, if you don't listen to this voice and know that the BBI is a redemption strategy, there is one route you have. In fact, you have one route towards a very dangerous cliffhanger politics. If you don't have BBI to change the way the country is governed through an amendment, prepare for the worst. You cannot hold an election in Kenya when you have not removed Mr. Chebukati, who sings Okuro Koti's song in the morning. Even lunchtime he sings the Rutos, evening he sings another song. Muchunge, most of these countries that we have, Miriam, we have them, like my country is finished because of intrigue. And I know you are an expert on that. You will hammer it home nice. I don't want to hammer, because when that guy hears me hammering, he go to the toilet several times. So for now, I will keep quiet for some time. Because when I go back, when I start the Sky News, CNN and the BBC, he hasn't seen it yet. It's gonna be a real journey that you not stop. Exposure. After all, even the Minister of Foreign Affairs cannot even fly near the nearest he can fly is Nairobi. Tuko na nyenye, mnahesabu tunahesabu. So don't think Intrigue is only in Kenya. Don't narrow it in Kenya. It's an African problem. You create a good party. You create good parties. You create good party with ideology. Look at the Intrigue killing ANC. Half of the ANC is corrupt. Zuma himself is standing trial for corruption. Because when we talk, Ruto might think we are only talking about Ruto. I want everybody to give an example of Africa. The Africa. Kirimi is an expert on Ruto. And that one, we leave it to you, sir. And hammer it home. The points are very clear. Kemereo and Emerald Dam. Where is the water? Wapi maji? The man bought new Airbus helicopters out of the money through Italy. Trace the helicopters, the reference number of the helicopters. Wewe, you are an investigative lawyer, wewe. Hapana kaa hapo unasema lawyer. Trace the whose license. How did the money change hands in Italy to buy the Airbus? Who owns the Airbus? Naambia watu huko hustler wapi? Hustler who owns the Airbus? Hustler. You be a hustler with 2 Airbus. Bulletproof. Which could build 2 million hospitals and turn the desert in Turkana into a waterway by irrigation from Lake Turkana. Wow. Then you say no refugee, we are not voting for me. Mfungue kitu hii. Fungua BBI tulimane na hawa watu. Kenya tulimane, haki ya Mungu mfungue. Watu watalimana, people will choose. You know the correct side that will win? It's the BBI side. We are just, you know, we are, why the Mr. President, don't worry. Don't even worry about these small big boys who do their PhD by correspondence. They haven't seen the real professor. They can't even make a plant grow. You know, for you to be a doctor of botany and zoology, you must make an animal grow. We want Dr. Ruto to grow a plant of maize, a breed of maize in the Rift Valley. A new crop of beans. A new crop of cassava. The study of agronomy. The plant. What is it called? Botany. Grow new grass that does not grow so that Nairobi becomes cleaner. At least I can be proud. I'm a doctor of political science. And I can write political science up to the last level.
Doctor,
even if I am down going to Angel Gabriel, you ask me about Karl Marx, I will tell you when he was born and his classic theory. Lakini mtu anasema alifanya research when your doctorate was online, virtual. Well, research methods are well known. All of you are graduates. Mwaga, you know what a research method is?
Yes.
Methods used to come to a conclusion.
Yes.
Where are the samples? Where did you put them? How big are they?
How do you account for the biases?
Yes, where are they? Then you say, sampling Mount Kenya. The only thing that people refuse to say, and which they are refusing to say, is those people like Alice Wahome, Kangata, Dindi Nyoro, the Madira MP. They hate Raila Amolo Odinga. Why are you hiding? They have personal hatred. So they want to carry this personal hatred down to their people they represent. Yet the people want peace. For me, I talk the truth. The only peace that I have seen in Kenya holding since 1992 is the peace between Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga. And the political peace, ya Nakuru, if you can see the way they are talking now, it is a cliffhanger hostage. The Nakuru peace was hostage peace. Blackmail. If you do this, we shall chase you away from Rift Valley. Isn't it? Is Raila chasing people from Kisumu? The deputy is going to Kisumu. Has Raila organized the goons to flush him out? Where has the deputy worked alone and got votes? He has used Raila Odinga. Ikitu yuambiane ukweli. Where? Even to reach Hague to know where Hague is. He would have not known where Hague is. Masanga knew Hague in 1981 when I was flying with Obote as a president, PA of the president. I knew North Korea, how they eat snakes. That's how I ate a snake. You know, have you ever eaten a snake, drunk wine in a snake, when there's a dry snake in the wine? Yes. When you go to Cuba, fly with the president, you see how power is. So don't underwrite Raila. Yet some of us have been critical. I am one of them. And my reasons were very clear. My reasons on Raila were very clear, and I have no regrets. If people want me to repeat them, I repeat them now. What will you do? I'll repeat them. But I don't hate Raila Odinga as a person. But Ruto hates Raila Odinga as a person, which is different. My reason is for disagreeing with Raila was to embrace Museveni. Today, let me tell you the truth. Nitoboe.
Toboa.
That is it. Amesahau sisi, 1982. Sisi, with Obote, we are the ones who saved him. And he has never acknowledged us. He has never. But we have forgiven him. Asikie leo, he embraced a man. So how do you expect me to come here to smile? Now you know, Kidi, you know. When this man came to Kisumu, he said to open up Jaramogi Oginga University. What did he say? Did you hear the speech of Museveni? Did you hear the speech of Museveni? Did you hear it? He said, there is a gentleman who has studied conflict, PhD in conflict. Did you hear that speech? Miriam, he said it, that there are people here, you know, there are people here who have studied PhD conflict, doctorate in conflict resolution. They create conflict, and they are here. He was meaning me. Who brought him there? It was Mzee Raila. They were friends. Today, let me open up. so that mjue. See now, ugomvi wote na Raila up to now on BBI 100%. The handshake he took with Uhuru, I swear, even if I remain alone and you Kenyans yourselves refuse it, you know what? I have stolen it. There is one country in Africa that have written a thesis, a very well organized document on handshake. They are going to embrace it. You know I'm going to use it to earn a living. I don't want to tell you a lie. There is one country in Africa which is going to do a BBI, a handshake, and I'm going to earn a living. Even if you Kenyans refuse it, have taken the idea of Uhuru and Raila Odinga to a certain president. Two of them are about to do a BBI. Mutaona. And once they do it, David Matanga is smiling all the way. You refuse it. It's up to you. It is the only route that can unite this country. If you are not united, don't try an election. The type of intrigue that you have now, where you tell the MP for Kandara to issue a statement to the president in Mombasa Serena Hotel. Kangata also went to Serena Hotel in Mombasa. That night meeting between Kangata and the DP, most of you who don't know intelligence might not know. But now I'm telling you, he was told to denounce this. Why do you do intrigue when you can come out openly and say, I oppose BBI? Can somebody on the panel answer me as I live under submit? Why doesn't the deputy president of Kenya say, I, William Samoei Ruto, oppose BBI? Ndio asikie moto. One, he doesn't want to be impeached. That's why he's keeping quiet, staying within Uhuru administration to safeguard that post of deputy president. Because the moment you disagree with the president openly, people will call upon you. If I disagree with Karanja and I sleep in Karanja's home in Nanyuki, and we have irreconcilable differences, no minimum, what is it, the lawyer Kiddy, what the minimum, irreducible minimum that ODM brought about, you know?
Yes.
If the irreducible minimum are not done, I part ways. I have to live in a Nyuki house and I go and seek for a house in Nyeri. So he fears to say, I oppose. And it is not only here. The intrigue, politics of intrigue, between Obasanjo and Atiku, you saw what it is. In Nigeria, don't look only narrow it to Kenya. We are looking at the entire Africa. Why Africa has this type of politics, of intrigue? Is it because we learn democracy in a different way? Why is it that today we have trade, but we can't trade? If you want to carry your goods, good bananas that are organic, you want to deliver them to South Africans to eat, they will call you for a visa, which can take. Intrigue cannot only be in politics. Intrigue is in customs. Intrigue is in immigration. Have you seen immigration intrigue? If you reach Addis Ababa and you are Kenyan, you are allowed to go. But if you have a Ugandan passport, you need a visa. Is that not political intrigue? When will Africa rise out of this type of intrigue? If you want to go to Tanzania, you need to carry your cows as a Kenyan, cross with them and account that I'll come back to eat 1, 2, 3, 4 to survive. Then they stamp. A Ugandan in Tanzania walks like he is home. Is that not intrigue? That's political intrigue, economic intrigue, social intrigue. These are the factors, the facets that I would like us and the panel to see. Thank you very much. Miriam, I submit that the BBI opponents must know 4 things. And before I do that, let me take this opportunity to emphasize this point so that the younger men on the panel can take it very far. The moment you turn BBI into a political process, you have killed it. Can I repeat that? The moment you turn BBI, the 9 points. This morning I asked people on my Facebook, I think you have seen it. How many of you now, even on the panel, can remember 9 of the points? People are condemning President Uhuru Kenyatta, but he has given out the material. We have had this material for almost 9 months now. But if you ask for almost 2 years, if you ask Kenyans, how many of them can recite the 9 points without going to their phones and see point number 1 was this, point number 4, ethics, corruption, elections. Some of them can mention even 5. Am I wrong, Miriam? Mm-hmm. They have forgotten. Their condemnation is Uhuru Kenyatta. Their food, their sleep is Uhuru Kenyatta. He has not. But even MPs, ask MP and remove the phone. Ask these MPs that you call MPs and the Senate, remove their phones and ask them, name 9 points of the handshake which created the BBI. I swear, none of them will name them. If that is not a fact, then let God help me. Because now I believe in God. God is my shepherd. I speak the truth. If I hurt someone, I will go back and kneel and pray, forgive me. But I've spoken the truth. The deputy president destroyed the legacy of President Uhuru Kenyatta. And one day when God looks at his eyes, when he's in his front of the God, I don't know what he will say that I did to destroy the legacy of my boss. Yet all of us were in Jubilee Party. I rest my case.
All right. Very well said there, Doctor. Thank you so much for that opening there. So we've seen a lot of shifting of goalposts, a lot of changing tunes, and a lot of changing of irreducible minimum. Doctor, you've said the ODM introduced that word. DP Root has been using a lot of it lately, giving the irreducible minimum from initial 6, and then he went to 5, and then he went to 2, and now we don't hear any of that stuff anymore. So we've seen a lot of intrigues when it comes to the Kenyan political scene here, and sometimes just in the morning we were looking at the newspapers here, we saw a couple of even parties have been formed in this country. And I don't know, just to start us off, Kidi, do we even need more parties? And the increase in parties here in the country, are they helping in building and strengthening our democracy, or they're essentially weakening our democracy based on what they're built on?
I don't think that increase of more parties would add value to our political discourse. Because largely in this country, you look at the parties that are there, or the political formations, we largely have 2 political formations. We have the regional KADU and the regional KANU mutating into several things. Sometimes there are moments when there is an element of convergence between, so that some elements of people who would really have been in KANU drifting towards KADU or KADU ideology and vice versa. For instance, in 2013, 2012, we had what was called the URP party. URP party, a cursory look at of URP party was not any different. If you look at the URP, the party, not William Ruto, what they were advocating, they were essentially trying to speak about the plights of the pastoralist communities, the minorities. And that speaks to what Kadu was speaking about. You look at TNA, the party, and a cursory reading of its document, you realize that there was no fundamental difference between TNA and KANU. But then because of political selfishness, people have been registering parties day and night as special purpose vehicles for elections. And it is just that. So that you look at the ideological grounding and philosophical underpinning of these parties, and you realize that there is absolutely nothing in terms of philosophy, in terms of ideology. If we could get to a scenario where we could fold up these parties and go back to two major strong parties, then that would really be a step in the right direction.
Mm-hmm. So the motivation, Javen, from what we hear Kid is saying that, because you've seen, as I said there, we were mentioning, I think, was it on the Star newspaper where it says Tanga Chief is focusing on Western Coast, Northeastern, Central Kisii, how Ruto plans to create his coalition, and a couple of parties that have since been registered in the recent past were mentioned: the Service Party, People's Empowerment Party, New Democratic Party, People's Democratic Party, United it's just democracy and party at the end. Do we not have enough parties? And having all these parties and creating new parties, is that how we strengthen our democracy, or in a sense we're weakening our democracy? And the ideologies that these parties are built on, does that set the ground for the kind of politics that we see play out in our country?
Thank you for that good question. And I would like also to ask a question like, why do we keep on having new political formations after every 5 years? From 1992, after the repeal of Section 2A, that give Kenya room for the multi-party democracy that we enjoy today, we have seen parties coming and go. They don't hold for more than 10 years. And the only political party that we have that still remains vibrant is the ODM. From the year 2005 around there to date, that is a good 15 good years. Therefore, that is one of the party after the repeal of Section 2A that have remained vibrant for quite a period of time, though it has its own challenges. When you look at it keenly, there has a problem when it comes to the party primaries. Last year, before 2017 general election, they tried to hold a national party delegation conference in Nairobi, and you saw the chaotic part of it. Therefore, we have a problem with our parties. And since that time, we have been having Ford Party and so on, but the problem we have is not the political parties, it's the people who form this political party. What do they form this political party for? They just form it for short-term benefits, and they do it for the sake of election. And after that, they just use it as a vehicle. And when they reach their destination, they go back and retreat to other businesses. And as we head to another general election, they come back and form new political formations. Therefore, we have not had political parties that stand on the ideological part of it, that are founded on an agenda to bring this country to development, to bring this country to prosperity. That is why we keep on having this kind of political parties that are weak and they don't hold anything, because they are not formed for the basics of the citizens. They are not formed to take this country better. They are not formed to empower the democracy. When you look at 2007, we had the PNU party. That was after NAC. Then after PNU, we had the TNA. I'm talking from this part of Mount Kenya region. Then from there, we had the Jubilee Party when we are heading to the 2017. But as we speak now, Jubilee Party is divided. because this party, yes, they have an ideology, but it's not founded on something concrete. Number two, the problem with our political parties, they are individual owned parties. There's parties that are owned by an individual, and when that a person leaves the party, when that person becomes political lame duck in the politics, or he comes a bit irrelevant, that party disappears into oblivion. It is nowhere to be seen, and we have seen it happen. When you look at the Jubilee, if President Uhuru Kenyatta today happens to leave and go home, when you see the kind of struggle, if they don't hold, they don't work a bit well to empower the party might scrabble, and it will be nowhere to be seen. When you look at URP was the Deputy President William Ruto, and when Deputy William Ruto moves out of the party dies. When you look at ODM kind of is the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, and if Raila Amolo Odinga today comes or moves out, ships out of ODM, then you see that party will not be a party anymore. Therefore, if we want to have great political parties, we must start having political parties that are founded on ideology, that are founded on an agenda. That is the only way we have to grow our nation. Thank you.
All right, very well said there. Thank you so much. And there is a piece here, I think by Dismas Mukoha on page 5 on the Star newspaper on the same. And he writes to say that political parties in Kenya are merely special purpose vehicles because they do not stand on any ideas, ideology, and philosophy. They are personality driven instead of being philosophically driven like in the West. And I just read there to add to the point of what we're looking at today, the politics of ideology. And because our parties, a lot of them lack that. And that is why we see a lot of the intrigues, a lot of the changing of positions, a lot of the acrobatics. A few weeks ago here, Standard newspaper, when they were writing about DP's road, the road to Damascus for Deputy President William Ruto, and they said his political gymnastics or something like that, because they're not founded on things that are solid. Would that be right, Douglas?
Thank you, Miriam. Yes, I'm here. Thank you. And that is a very nice question. And one thing that stands out is that what Dismas Mokua said is what every Kenyan agrees, that these political parties are not formed for because of the ideology or their development agenda that they have. Remember, Miriam, the current Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya abandoned President Uhuru Kenyatta and his government, and the President himself actually mentioned that at the Bomas of Kenya when he said the Deputy took the baton from him and ran backwards and also started running for President while they were in office. Meaning the Jubilee manifesto, the Jubilee Big Four agenda, and the agenda of the President of transforming this country and his mandate that he was given by Kenyans has been trampled on and trashed by the Deputy President because of his quest for power. Now, if these parties are not formed because of what they are going to do, because of their ideology and their track record and their development, what are they? They are special purpose vehicles, as the writer in the daily paper said. If they are special purpose vehicles, what if today you don't want to get associated with President Uhuru Kenyatta and you don't want to be associated with his Jubilee administration? What do you do when you are in his party? The registrar of political parties actually has some guidelines for you to be able to stop being a member of Jubilee Party, so that you can go and propagate the ideas of his own wheelbarrow party and other small parties, people's empowerment parties, and all that, because we have ruled out the possibility of ideologies in our parties. For example, in the UK, they have the Liberal Party and also some other party. Yes.
In the UK, they have the Labour and Conservative, that the leading.
Yes, Conservative. Thank you, Miriam. And also in the US, we have the Democrats and Republicans. today in Kenya, if we don't have ideology, we have this movement. We move from one moment you are forming People's Empowerment Party, the next moment you are forming Service Party, the next moment you are forming a Wheelbarrow Party. The Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Ruto, I need to remind you that the procedure of ceasing to be a member of a political party is in 4 steps. Number 1, Deputy President William Ruto is by voluntary resignation, by giving a resignation letter to the party, all the registered political parties. Number 2 is by expulsion through the established party mechanisms. And number 3, Deputy President William Ruto, that I'm very interested in, and that makes you an illegal Deputy President, is by deeming through where a member acts in a manner that suggests he or she is supporting another political party apart from the party that is in the same coalition or that sponsored them in parliament. Deputy President William Ruto, you know the agenda of your party. You abandoned it long time ago. Moses Kuria, you abandoned it long ago. Moses Irungu Kangata, of late, you have abandoned the agenda of your party that sponsored you, even to the seat that you are having the majority whip in Senate. Today, you have deemed not to be a member of your party. We have a lawyer here, they can tell us. That is the procedure from the registrar of political parties. You can dispute it, Deputy President, but you are a member number 1 with the Wheelbarrow Party. You need to resign today and leave government and also leave the party that sponsored you as a Deputy President. We need another Deputy President that is not biased as you are. Another method is by attrition. When you die, Deputy President and his people have not died, so they have deemed that today it is not the way things were before, and at this point they have deemed it from being members of Jubilee Party, and they need to resign today morning. And you will not be the first person to resign as a Deputy President. There is no shame in resigning in a party you don't believe in. Today, instead of propagating the Jubilee agenda, you are propagating the agenda of the Wheelbarrow Party, People's Empowerment, and also the Service Party. So you have deemed to have been a member of Jubilee Party. You need to continue propagating your own Wheelbarrow Party. And Miriam, Deputy President, has no ideology. He does not stand for reforms. He only uses political parties as vehicles to seek power. And since Jubilee Party is no longer serving his purpose of seeking power, he needs to be able to leave power today and go out there and start afresh and seek a fresh mandate from Kenyans, and so that President Kenyatta can use his mandate to transform lives of Kenyans. We had a president in the USA who served without a deputy for several years, for several months, and I think about 2 years. Deputy President William Ruto, we can be able to work without you. You are not a god in Jubilee Party. Leave. By deeming that you are a member of the Wheelbarrow Party, you are not a member of Jubilee Party, please leave in the morning before we force you to resign this year, because you shall resign.
Okay, very well. Oh, Douglas. And Doctor, just coming to what Douglas has just said, we've seen just what the DP now is doing and what Douglas has said. The Deputy President is part of the government, part of the ruling party, and now we read here in the morning on the headlines that he is forming another coalition outside of the party that he's supposed to be serving right now. Surely something has to be wrong with that.
Miriam, there is something that worries me, and I concur with Kirimi Douglas. You know what worries me most? Is these people are preparing for which election? Which one? Have you Kenyans asked yourselves which one? This is a battlefield. If you take Kenya to 2022 elections, with whatever Ruto is planning now, I bet the jails in The Hague should open bigger extension, because this time there will be too many people taken there. Am I wrong, panel? If we go to an election, I'm not a prophet of doom, but you can see the pattern forming. If you start organizing regional parties to form and go, regional parties formed against Raila Odinga. You see the mistake we make? We are not forming parties for the people of Kenya. In fact, when I wrote this topic this morning in the wee hours, I had not seen my student, this Masimoko. That's my student, one of them, who learned me the footsteps. It's me who brought him never to be shy. And I'm happy he's writing very good work. I had not seen what he had written. You are making a battlefield, not an ideology. You are heading towards hell, Gehenna. Which elections are you talking about? I'm asking you people, which election? This one, if you go without an amendment, Karanja, even in Nanyuki, where you are hiding in those farms, you will feel it.
Yes.
Miriam in Siaya, you will feel it. Wherever you will be hiding, whether Mombasa or Siaya or Nairobi, you will feel it. Until you change the electoral mechanisms. And let me repeat, until you go the Uhuru Kenyatta way. President Uhuru Kenyatta, you know what? Has not diluted his words. He said this year is the year of constitutionalism. Have you seen a determined man? So you, Ruto, just do one thing, as Kirim said, before we force you out. Because time is coming, people are going to force you out. You cannot be in cost. How many parties are these? The man who stole our locusts has a party. The locust party man, Mwangi Kinjuri. Then you have the witness, Poro Chuara. Another thief who never pays debts. You know? Kuria alipe pesa. He has my 220,000 shillings. He has never paid. Alipi. Even when he has a lot of money he has collected from Ruto for selling Ruto in the ICC. New Democratic Party. Wamingo Magara, who moves like a windy van. Today is in Karen, in Migori with cows, and tomorrow is with birds and a cuckoo in Singoi. United Democratic Alliance, the drug dealer of Machakos. Yes! Mwambie watu. Nyinyi mnacheka na watu, mfungue campaign, tuambie watu. How can a drug dealer, a man who has a very serious case for having snoozed off a Venezuelan diplomat? What is this? You think if Uhuru was not very lenient, some of these people would not be here forming parties and insulting him? Am I wrong? You are lucky you have found a very good president. Some of us Museveni chased us away for just even sneezing. Yes. We are in London where we are because we sneezed. And Museveni even looked at the sneeze as it came out of the nose. He said, this one will finish me. Walaya Mungu. You see the way he's beating that small boy. What about a big guy like me? Whom he feels their muscles. Sindio wanapiga na muscles. Miriam, they would be hitting these muscles thinking that the muscles are very big. But they are beating a small boy there. Carrying him like a sack of potatoes. So you are lucky. In Kenya, Jamen, muko lucky sana. Muko na president who grew up in an organized home. He doesn't carry any anger. He watches people insult him Witness Porochuara, Moses Kuria. Witness recruiter, Hassan Omar. You remember Hassan Omar? Can you call Mr. Ruto, you call Hassan Omar to be your point man? Hurumu, this NGO in the coast. Do you know the NGO in the coast
Muhuri.
that has gone to court to block
Yes.
the BBI?
I just saw that on the papers. Muhuri.
When that NGO is the one that helped to kidnap the Italian what? Nurse. Hey, nyenye munagopa nini? Who is the patron of that NGO? Kirimi, who is the patron?
Omar.
Yes. Omar has just surfaced after that ransom was paid. So you are bringing people who are even who have deals with Al-Shabaab, bringing them back to the limelight that they are the ones spearheading your coastal campaign. Mwache hiyo maneno. You are lucky. There's one thing that Raila can never do, which I thank him for. When he knows you have a problem, he doesn't come near you. He runs away. No, that is a very good, that's leadership. He runs away very fast. He doesn't, yes. Most of the people who have left ODM to go and form their own party is because they want quick money. Aisha Juma, she wants money and other activities, extraordinary mutual. Lawyers call them extraordinary activities, 90 duties, which are not available in Jubilee, are not available in ODM, because some of the ODM people are all God-fearing and a Christian. In Jubilee, we have a very young and vibrant people who are operative. When they arrive at the city blossoms. Is that the correct English, lawyer?
Yes, that is it.
That is not a legal language.
When the DP was in Mombasa, the city was, when the city was lights were all lights. Hey!
Doctor, you said the city was lit.
Was lit. Hey. You must cut it short. You know we must bring some sense of humor. So, you cannot control people like a Gladys Cholet. How can you control her in ODM? Or in the wing that does not, some of us are wazee. Nataka kitu mupya. Eh? Look at all the people who are against the President Uhuru Kenyatta. Look at them. Look at the women. All of them who are against President Uhuru Kenyatta. Because he's a Christian man.
Daktari, you've raised a very legitimate point.
Yeah. So that's not ideology. That's intrigue.
Which part is legitimate?
To make someone leave their husbands to come to you is not politics of ideology. Hey!
That is intrigue.
That's intrigue.
Well, Daktari, I wanted to say something as you proceed.
I'm not naming anybody, but I just want you to see the scenario. When people arrive at Kwale, the whole area is lit. Look at it. You go to Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, you see how many lady MPs are flying there. Whoa! Whoa! Wagwan.
We're going. Kidi, go ahead. You had something to say.
Tell you the truth. This, Mukua Dismas Mukua is correct. There is no ideology here. There is intrigue and selfish gains. Some of them are personal. Some of them are personal chemistry. Some of them are for personal desire.
I didn't even know we had subcategories of personal, but that's okay.
Yes, well, personal category.
Like category and then
Yeah,
subcategory of
Kidi,
personal.
yes.
All right, Kidi, go ahead.
Thank you, Dr. Well, you have raised a legitimate point that one, there is a pattern, especially in the recent past, where people calling themselves political leaders group and regroup themselves, especially into cocoons that shun or run away from accountability and transparency. And they come together to use their supposed political strength to stop or block political and legal accountability. That people who have caucused around the deputy president today, majority of them have got integrity questions that if life was to be breathed into chapter 6, leadership and integrity, then some of these will not hold offices. For instance, we have Aisha Jumwa, who of course have got the murder case hanging over her like the Damocles swords. We've got Johnston Muthama with his background in precious metal stones. We've got the immediate former Nairobi governor, someone who does not deserve being in elective politics at all. And these people have ganged up around the deputy president, and they have mischievously invented the term hustler as an attempt to carry favor with the masses. But in the same vein and breath, it must be pointed out that they are responsible in part for the economic catastrophe that we are in, because deputy president and the ministries that were under him and his people ensured that they raided the coffers. After raiding the coffers, they used their supposed political strength to shield themselves from political accountability. So that you remember when Murkomen and Kihika were removed from Senate, they said that President Kenyatta was in part targeting the Kalenjin. So yes, I agree with you, Daktari.
All right, very well. Thank you so
Another
much.
thing, another thing which you can not leave the panel not to discuss. To add on what Dr. Mwaga is saying, Kidi, one day you will become a doctor because you have in law, but don't study cheap law. You see, all the people who are around the Tanga group of deputy president, each has a case of criminality. 200 billion, 400 million, 800 million, 1 billion, 21 Camerero, Emerald, all this, they have all gone there. And this group has come back, a cabal of mafia. Wanaweza kupotesha muda yako, roho yako, uweza kukatiwa. What is it in Swahili? Your life is cut. Swahili yangu imeisha.
Kiswahili cha Msazani.
It is cut in a few minutes. If you lose a camera, they will tell you if you don't come with that camera. So you start thinking of going, and then you say, let me go to God very fast. That's the type of politics we have in your country there. Can you explain to me how my son breaks a camera? And I tell my son, I just go to the shop and buy another camera. And I explained arms being conducted in your own office. A man selling arms worth $49 billion, conducting business in the office. Are you not part of these arms? Don't you eardrop to hear what they are talking? Look, where is that man? He's where? He's dining. Mr. Mwaura, who always looks for nomination, not elections. Raila nominated him first. Jubilee nominated. He can't win a cattle deep chairmanship of Kiambu. He's now busy harassing Uhuru Kenyatta. Is that ideology? An ideology of running from one place to castigate the first family. It's not their mistake. It's not their mistake. It's not a mistake of President Uhuru Kenyatta that he was born where he was born. It's not a mistake of Raila Odinga that he was born by Jaramogi Oginga. Why don't you ask God to be born there? Why don't you? Right now, here all of us can pray. Can't you pray that I wish? The only thing you can do is to go and marry Raila Odinga's daughter. Then you can be closer. There is one who is, I don't know whether she's free or not. My daughters, one of them, I call them my daughters, because for me, I can never go there. It will be a shame. The younger men can go there. I can't go to Ruto's home and say, I'm marrying Ruto's daughter. No, it's a shame. Very big shame. Respect as an African. We can disagree. But you can't go to that extent. That's why I told my daughters never to marry any Ugandan. In London. Because all of these Ugandans came through me to get asylum. So if you marry them, how are they going to introduce themselves to me? Ulikuja inakujua shida yako. Mimi nakufiri your papers. Like those Somalis in the parliament in Somalia. They don't know English. I filled their papers. How will they come to criticize me about English language? So upitie huko. I told my daughters, please look for some green pasture. Hata unapata mjamaika mrefu namna hivi, kuja nayo. But don't try Ugandan.
I did not know Jamaicans were greener pastures. I'm just learning now.
Yes, they are. They are very enterprising, Miriam. If you didn't know. Even especially when you get a Jamaican woman, it's very enterprising. Wow. You don't want me to tell you more.
Let's just leave that alone.
So the whole thing is ideology is lost. All the people who have camped against President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, BBI, in the Mount Kenya and in most parts, look at Gunjiri, the Bahati MP, the man in Bahati, Kimani Ngunjiri. He has a beef because the law is chasing him over some money. Susan Kihika has a beef. The law is chasing her. But because you have a very good president, he doesn't follow people which hunt people. Some of these people would not be seeking second re-election in 2022. So that is not politics of ideology. Politics of intrigue, Machiavellian politics is the main cause of conflict in Africa. I submit.
Yes, Miriam, on the same vein and breath, it must be pointed out that intrigue is secret planning of something that is illicit. And therefore, I will just bring that definition from the outset. So that, for instance, you realize that the dalliance between Mwaura and DP and their UDA party is nothing but planning of what could be a very illicit political canoodling. Because they talk about hustlerism as a philosophy. But that hustler philosophy is dead on arrival. Dead on arrival because they say that they want to empower the hustlers. And how do they empower them? They give them the wheelbarrows. So that one thing, it means that the best that they can give to, you look at a World Bank report in 2017 that was saying that Kenya releases 1 million graduates every year, and as of 2017 we had 3 million unemployed graduates. So that William Ruto and the company's response to that menace is to give these graduates wheelbarrows. It is intrigue because we know that there is just so little you can do. A graduate can do with a wheelbarrow. First, it will lead to underemployment. So that even if you engage all these graduates, the net effect is that all of them would be underemployed. They would be economically engaged in things they didn't study for, and that therefore will not give government value for money, the money that the government invested in education and training of these graduates. So yes, Miriam, I submit.
All right. Thank you so much. And just to add on what you said there before we get to Javan, a political ideology, according to the dictionaries, is a certain set of ethical ideals, principles, doctrines, myths, or symbols of a social movement, institution, class, or large group that explain how society should work and offers some political and cultural blueprint for a certain social order. Also, political ideologies are concerned with many different aspects of society, including, for example, the economy, education, healthcare, labor law, criminal law and justice system, the provision of social security and social welfare. Jevan, according to that definition, when you look at our political parties and what we see now happening and the moving and shifting and blame game and all what we see right now in the Kenyan political scene, has any of this been addressed, especially with a section of our politicians, as we've seen in the late times?
Yeah, thank you, Miriam. And that is a very good definition of what an ideology is. And as you've seen, ideology is something that holds together and something that brings people of like-minded mind, and they form it not for this or their own sake, but also for the future. Because when it's look, for example, like in an organization, they do it for the short term and the long term purposes, so that even if the CEO or the founder of that company is out of the office, the company will still hold and will continue to serve the people, and it will continue seeking to achieve the goals that it was made to do. And that is something that also needs to come to our political field, where we need to get these parties that have ideologies, and that will come when we have selfless leaders, people who are patriotic to this country, and people will stand to be counted as people who liberated this country from the yoke of divisions and tribalism. And one thing, Miriam, with this issue that we have and we are struggling to fight in this country, the ethnic, the negative ethnic mobilization, or the ethnicity and tribalism that we have in this country, and is one factor that undermines national unity, tribalism, and maybe nepotism, corruption, and those other vices that undermine national unity. You'll see that these political parties that we have, they are somehow tribal in sense that they are formed by people from a distinct tribe or region for their own purpose, not to serve the purpose of the country, but for their own ethnic and tribal mobilization, so that they seek power, and after that, they pretend to be using that party for the sake of their people. For example, when you look at the TSP party, the Service Party, that is founded by the former CS Mwangi Kiunjuri, who was who is one of the corrupt CS that we had, because we saw how the mace scandals were overwhelming him when he was in the sector, and he was not even able to fight the locusts that invaded this country. You see, this party is only dominant in a specific region in Laikipia County and in some parts of Nyeri. And this party is not seeking to bring any new thing. When you ask even the founders of the party, even Mwangi Kiunjuri, what is the purpose of this party, he'll say that we are seeking, and this is what he says, we are seeking to form alliances with other like-minded parties. Therefore, he has nothing. These parties, they use it for brokerage. After that, you know how they use it, you know, to broke and to get some coins, because after that, maybe the deputy president might seek to use that party. What will Kiunjuri gain? He will get some coins, and he'll release the party, and he'll fold the party and sit back and go back home with some coins. That kind of parties for business, you form this political party for purposes of investment. That is why they end up not helping any individual.
Okay, very well said. So part of that opinion piece by Dismas Mkoa also said, it is therefore not a surprise that Deputy President William Ruto is aligned to many upcoming political parties as the Deputy of Kenya and Deputy Party Leader of Jubilee. He cannot be seen to be associating with any other political parties, but that is not what we've been seeing happening. Of course, Deputy President being number 2 in the ruling party and being part of the ruling party, surely. And now we see the headline here on the Star newspaper saying the DP is working to form a coalition with other parties. The new parties that we've seen being registered here, and I'm sure others will be registered very soon. Something has to be wrong with that. And I posed this question earlier to Dr. Douglas, surely. This is the kind of madness that we see in our political dynamics in this country that brings about too much intrigues. And in that, we see too much politicking at the expense of even the national development. And we've seen even President Uhuru Kenyatta about 2 years ago pleading before he decided to unleash the whip and decide, you know what, now I'm need to restructure and how I'm going to deliver my Big Four agenda, because politics was overtaking the developmental agenda in this country. And indeed the Jubilee manifesto that they had campaigned and sold to Kenya, and so they were elected, and so Kenyans were expecting service delivery. And then after the election and thereafter the handshake followed, we saw politics just take center stage, and nobody was caring too much about developmental agenda. And President Uhuru Kenyatta raised concerns every time, and he said, can we give politics a break? Because Kenyans expect us to deliver. We have a Big Four agenda to deliver to Kenyans. We have lives that we need to change. We have education sector that we need to address. We have the health sector that we need to address. Can we put politics aside for a moment and serve Kenyans? And that heed was not taken. And so before President Uhuru Kenyatta started making drastic measures, and I think perhaps he was listening to Dr. Matsanga, because a lot of times Doctor would say, you need to crack the whip right now. So President Uhuru Kenyatta cracked the whip, brought in some few military men to help him deliver services to Kenya, and here we are. So there's too much politicking. Does it come at the expense of national development, and how can we cure that moving forward? And the confusion that the DP is bringing to the ruling party.
Thank you,
Miriam.
Oh, let me go because I'm about to go.
Okay.
Okay, Doctor. Go on.
Miriam.
Yes.
Thank you very much for asking that question. It is high time that the president either took this entire cabinet to retreat, the entire Senate, or the leaders of Senate, Parliament, all of them, if he doesn't want to to touch the route that Kirimi wants. Because the route that Kirimi wants is very straightforward. Either the DP is with the president or he quits. But if the president still values some of these people, as a conflict resolution expert, I would advise him to take them for a holiday, a retreat, awasomee and address them. Because we have 540 days left in power. In power, 540 days. If we play with them, we might end up not achieving what we want. So either look at Nairobi Metro. When the president brought in Major General Badi, you walk in Nairobi, you feel comfortable, man. I know you people who walk, if it was not these masks, we would be feeling very comfortable. There is decorum. Watu wanatembea na decorum. Hakuna kukimbia far. Barabara ziko na where to go. That's the type of city we want. This is a city that is going to host people who live in organized cities. People who live in organized cities. So we need to have a good city. So I agree and I support President Uhuru Kenyatta's bringing after all, the army are civil servants, are public officers. They can work anywhere. Who told you that the army is not a public service? Who? Nana alikwambia? That the army is not a public service. That being in the army, you are not in a public service. As long as you are not being taken, to a political contest. You remain a public officer of the government. So there is nowhere you can run around saying you cannot be able to deliver or to work for the government. You can be posted to control floods on River Tena. The army is controlling floods. As we speak, that Museveni country, the army has days where it goes to dig maize. That's why Uganda has a sugar cane, has maize, has extra. This guy has an army of 3 million people. That's why we have a problem of tackling him. Yesterday, I listened to people in Kampala who are calling me, saying the army that they have brought, they don't speak English. They don't speak Swahili. They don't speak any language. They only speak French. So I said, where did they come from? And they are told like this. That's the army that has been brought in Kampala. So we are in chaos. But it does some work. When they go to dig maize, they dig acres and acres. That's why there is no lack of food in Uganda. So an army man can work anywhere as long as the place is not political. Nairobi is not political. This man is not coming to sit in the chamber to discuss. He only needs money to make sure that the buses are working. That's it, practical. He went and repaired all the buses, all the lorries. Is that not practical? It's not worth it. Jamani, mwambiane kwa vya ukweli. Is Badi not doing a good job? Why do you criticize Uhuru Kenyatta? This town, there is no more rubbish. When you look at Nairobi, where you are, rubbish is being collected regularly. Am I wrong, Miriam?
It's being collected.
Yes, there are people, their role is working at 3 a.m. Collecting rubbish. The roads have been good. The roads are good. The army man has done a good job. The governor that you have was Mwizi, who should be in a prison called Shimo ya Talewa. What is that prison which always gives me a headache to pronounce? Shimo ya Tewa, somewhere there. It's told he continued thieving, taking all the money. He still wants more. So, submitting in final analysis, Intrigue has destroyed the politics of the Republic of Kenya. Political intrigue has destroyed it. There is no ideology at all. And not only in Kenya, but in the entire Africa. Intrigue is the main cause of conflicts that we see. Miriam, I submit, and I beg that I need to run to the central city of where I am.
All right.
I want to do a number of things before the policemen ask you. What is happening in London is that if you are out and are roaming about without any reason, police ask you, where are you going? What are you going to do? You are supposed to be in your house. It's a lockdown, total lockdown. So I still tell you, please be with your masks, wash your hands, keep a distance. Don't go to unnecessary things unless God has called you to go there. If you have heard that Angel Gabriel has appeared in a certain house, then go there. But please, stick to your home, to yourselves, to your offices, work hard. We meet tomorrow again. Unless there is anything that you want me to contribute in the dispatches, I'm ready. Thank you.
That's all right, Doctor. Thank you so much. Douglas, you were to respond to the same question there. Doctor responded to, so do that and close our show.
You see, Miriam, you asked a very candid question that Deputy President William Ruto wants to get into a coalition with other people, yet he is the Deputy President serving under Jubilee Party. The Constitution of the Republic of Kenya 2010 encompasses a situation where the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya is the principal assistant or the PA to the President of the Republic of Kenya. Did the President of the Republic of Kenya release a memo that says, as the party leader of the Jubilee Party, he has said that he is going to be in a coalition with the Wheelbarrow Party or the People's Empowerment Party, with the TSP Party, the Service Party, and all manner of parties that the Deputy President William Ruto has been able to form. The leaflet that I'm holding right now is from the Registrar of Political Parties. Registrar of Political Parties, that is where they register their parties in this country. In this thing, frequently asked questions. One is, how can a political party get into a coalition? A political party can get into a coalition only if the party agrees and also their members agree. Deputy President William Ruto, the last time I checked, he is the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, courtesy of the Jubilee Party of the Republic of Kenya, that is the ruling party. He cannot be able to get into those parties. And again, to remind my viewers and everyone that would mind to watch, that I'm not just talking once about Deputy President William Ruto. When I call Deputy President William Ruto an hybrid political conman, I mean it from my heart. I mean it from every political angle you can be able to come from. Because one, this leaflet that I'm holding says the procedure of ceasing to become a member of a party. One, actually, the third one is deeming. Deeming is behaving or suggesting in a manner that means that you support another party that is not your party. Deputy President William Ruto has been consistent in recent past saying the Jubilee Party lost its mandate and lost its direction on Big Four agenda and the Jubilee Manifesto. Now they are focused on BBI, so he is free to go and chart another course. That is what that Endrain is saying. In politics, you have to see what is said and what is not being said. What they said today is that the Deputy President William Ruto has deemed from being a member of Jubilee Party, deemed from being the leader of deputy leader of Jubilee Party, and now has gone to the Wheelbarrow Party, which is the United Democratic Alliance. So anyone that would think that I'm trying to make my own laws and bylaws that govern our political parties is out for a shock. And at the end of the day, What we are asking Deputy President in the year 2021, the year of truth, is that Deputy President William Ruto should stop trampling the law the way he has been trampling on politicians. Remember, when he was put in charge of Jubilee Party nominations, he sold and also gave out nominations to his friends and denied us a chance as a people to elect people that we could have been able, who could have been able to develop the city and other counties where he had an interest because of his 2022 ambition. Deputy President William Ruto, what I'm holding today in this hand is a bylaw that governs political parties in this country. You are wrong. You're not going to get into any coalition with any party because you are a member of Jubilee Party. One, you have already resigned from Jubilee Party. What we are asking you today is that you need to be able to first resign as the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, because beaming, hosting the UNDA, the UNDA Ufisandi party in Msambweni, the party that you have formed, the Wilbaru party, you have deemed from becoming a member of Jubilee Party. By law, you're not a member of Jubilee Party, and you're not supposed, you are holding an illegal office. We need a new deputy president in that seat that minds the Big Four agenda, that minds the BBI, and also minds the agenda of their boss, according to the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya, that says the deputy president is the principal assistant to the president. In the USA, we under President called James Madison. He operated without a deputy because the most deputies that used to come did not serve his interest. In those days in the USA, when James Madison was the president, deputy president had to bring something on board, especially votes. And from the north, the deputy president or vice president that came to power from the US to form party, to form a government to the Madison, did not bring even a single electoral votes from the 15 electoral votes of that time. James Madison had to sack that vice president. Many vice presidents like Thomas Jefferson had to sack their multiple vice presidents where they served their 2 terms as president of the USA. Why? Because they didn't serve their purpose. Deputy President, your usefulness in the Jubilee Party is already done. You no longer serve the interest of President Uhuru Kenyatta. You no longer serve the interest of our party, which is Jubilee Party. You no longer propagate the agenda of Jubilee Party. You are propagating the agenda of our People's Party, the agenda of the Wilbaru Party, and also the Service Party. Deputy President, do the honorable thing, stop your political conmanship, and also stop the hypocrisy that you have already mobbed into, because you are an hybrid political conman. The registrar of political parties is an independent office in our constitution. Deputy President William Ruto, you deemed from being a member of Jubilee Party. Please resign and go home. If you go to Sugoi, nobody will ask you which party you have hosted. If you go to Unda Ufisandi Party, nobody will ask you where you have gone. Deputy President, a time has come for you to be a man and also to be patriotic enough to tell the president the truth. Tell the nation the truth. You no longer believe in President Uhuru Kenyatta. You have been trampling on his legacy. You don't want the president to have a legacy. A time has come for you to leave the office of Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, because the party that sponsored you to office, you have left that office. You have left the office of Deputy Party Leader by deeming in law. When you deem to have supported another party, apart from the one that supported you to parliament or to the office of Deputy President, you cease from being a member of that party. So Deputy President William Ruto, by a mere thought that I think you have deemed to have left this party and gone to Unda Ufisandi Party, please resign today before we force you out of office. Thank you, and I submit.
Unda Ufisandi Party, is that a new party that I don't know about? All right. Thank you so much, Douglas Kirimi there from Meru. Thank you, Jevan Karanja from Nanyuki. Thank you, Kide from Nairobi. And of course, Dr. Masanga, thank you so much. And thank you for watching. We shall see you here again tomorrow with more news making headlines from across the country and indeed across the continent. My name is Miriam Bugoto. A very good afternoon to you, and bye-bye for now.
peace must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.